How's it going, guys? This is part 4 of a 5-part series where I unveil everything I know about real estate prospecting online. I'm not going to hold back. Yes, that means I'm going to be revealing the ninja hacks, the deepest secrets, the realest truths, all of the above, right? So stick around to the end because I'm going to be going into a very important topic, which is how can we actually use Go Highlevel, the CRM, the best CRM for real estate, and actually set it up in a way where you're no longer getting those tire kicker leads where they say, hey, Mr. or Mr. Realtor, who's calling me. These are the leads that actually don't waste your time, that actually sell, that actually work with you, that actually like you, know you, and trust you. So let's dive in. This is very important, obviously. Every single one of these parts. So this is 4 out of 5, but 1, 2, and 3. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you do, because if you just implement one of these things, it's not going to work. You need every single step and every single part to make sure that your online prospecting is going successfully. Let's dive in and make sure you stick around to the end because obviously I reveal a lot of my secrets and kind of ninja hacks that you can implement yourself. But it is a lot. So stay tuned, get your notebook out, all that good stuff, and we're going to jump in. Okay, so this is our lead flow strategy. So in part 1, we went through how to set up the actual strategy to acquire the leads. Number 2, we found the winning creative. And then in part 3, we actually split tested to kind of find the ultimate creative, if you will. So we have this lead flow going on. Great. Don't be like every other realtor who just kind of puts it into a CRM, like I mentioned up here, or sends them to a poor website. Actually have a dedicated nurturing process that makes people warm up to you and your unique value proposition and who you are. So what we do is we use Go Highlevel. This is one of the best CRMs to use if you're a realtor. This is something that I can share a snapshot with, but you're able to have kind of pipelines, conversations, calendars, sites, video sales letters, and appointment tracking all in one. And it works seamlessly with Facebook. It works seamlessly for realtors, and it works seamlessly in terms of sharing snapshots. So pretty much if you want this snapshot of, and I'll get into it, it's like I can just share with you instead of having to have kind of a setup exactly scripted CRM that's the same cookie cutter for everyone. This actually allows us to have a bit of variation, and we can share that variation with whichever realtor that we work with. So we use Go Highlevel, and the first thing we do, so we have these kind of ultimate leads now coming in for 15, 20 bucks, whatever it may be. We send people into pipelines. So that pretty much looks like an opportunities tab. So we have new prospects, we have responsive prospects, we have hot prospects, and then dead prospects, of course, as well, and closed. So people get moved automatically between these pipelines. So number 1, you can stay organized. Number 2, we know who to actually reach back out to and reignite. That's something we do every 1 to 3 months, and that's something you should do too if you're trying to follow along on this system. Is reignite everyone in 1 to 3 months. A lead is never dead. A lead is just stagnant. So make sure you follow up with them, as well as putting them in a long-term value pipeline. So this is giving them things like, hey, we just sold this house. We could do that for you too. Things like, hey, how to increase the value of your home. Things like that, where we're putting them in a long-term value pipeline. That's you not actually reaching out to them. That's, through the CRM. That's automated. Pretty much the beauty of the online space at this point. And I'll get into some AI stuff in a second. But that's what we use Go Highlevel pipelines for, is to pretty much organize, okay, these are the leads that are dead. These are the leads that are new. These are the leads that are responsive. And these are the leads we should follow up with. Again, hot prospects. Obviously, if you're determining between calling a hot prospect or a new prospect, that's a difficult one, but try to get both. But for example, a hot prospect versus a kind of lukewarm one, always go for the hot one. New prospects are great as well. So that's pipelines. And next, let's go to the conversations tab, and this is the next important tab in Go Highlevel, and it's what we use for all of our realtors. So essentially, in the conversations tab, this is where the client communication is done. This is where the call recordings happen. This is where the follow-up occurs. And what we use is AI follow-up. At this point in your business, if you're not using AI, you're falling behind. You're not actually hitting the metrics you need to hit and the time that you need to spend following up without doing manual outreaching. So, and what I mean by time is, saving time, obviously. So AI follow-up, do it in a way where it's extremely human-like. We actually have a Launch Pro chatbot. It looks like this. It's, obviously very complicated. There's a lot of layers to it. It's a whole spider web of people going one way or the other. And it's not just the built-in AI that a lot of people are trying to sell you. This is specifically built for realtors. This is specifically tailored for realtors and how they speak, as well as we have the realtors we work with kind of write out a 1-sentence or 2-sentence paragraph, which we submit, and it speaks like them. So this is an example of an AI follow-up bot at work, where we get the street address, we get, the condition of their property, we get whether or not they're looking to sell. They say spring. And at this point, when they answer 2 questions, we deem them as a hot lead. We also ask what went towards the condition of the property. So they say new deck, new windows. And the AI bot automatically knows that we now want to get an appointment booked. So spring is a great time to sell, with the market usually picking up. To get the most accurate value, I recommend booking an on-site appraisal or an on-site evaluation. Can you schedule a time for me to come by using the link below? So at this point, this is a hot lead. They've answered questions. If you remember from part 1 and 2, they filled out a bunch of forms. They've now interacted and actually become responsive and answered questions with the chatbot, which they think is you. When you give these people a call, number one, they're going to be expecting it because you just were speaking with them over text. And number two, they're already qualified and ready to potentially have a conversation around the value of their home. So furthermore, people are automatically booked in. As you can see, there's a booking link here, and people can book automatic appointments for you. So this stuff would never happen without AI. If a lead came in, let's say, maybe 2 years ago, and you said, "Hey, book an appointment in my calendar," the conversion rate for that is significantly less. I would say 10 times less than having a real conversation and then at the end of the conversation prompting an appraisal booking or prompting an in-person booking. So that's essentially the power of AI. And this is not only done by you, this is done without you lifting a finger. So at night, when you're doing work, when you're hanging out with your kids, all the things that AI should be doing, but you're not in your business. So if you don't have, any sort of AI in your business at this point, it's time to make a change because it's going to be the future. It's going to stick around. It's necessary for you to grow your business. You just need to figure out the right things to run. So an AI follow-up bot, created by us is obviously a fantastic one to go with, but there's many different options out there. So the next thing we do in Go High Level, and this is obviously essential, is calendars. So the reason I have this automatic booking is after someone becomes a hot lead, they're automatically booked in. This is where, people populate. So automatic booking, we can figure out the KPI tracking. So how many appointments are coming in per month. We can also send prospect reminders. So if someone does book an appointment, we can build out on the back end, like a value-based funnel that gives people, different touch points of value before the appointment. That's what I do with my realtors. Like I give value before our call, content ideas, things like that, things of that nature, where if you're giving value before a call, you want to go above and beyond. You want to be 10 times better than everyone else in the market. And if you're constantly giving value, it's going to be apparent. So that's what we do with our calendar follow-up. But pretty much there's two places we do automatic booking, and I'll get into that. But the first one is obviously through the AI bot, and the AI automatically books someone in and they're sent to the calendar. And this is where we have, number one, your Google Calendar integrated, but also we could do the follow-up. Okay, that was a lot, but the next thing we do is sites. Okay, so this is what we host on sites, which is pretty much that survey, which is, having them answer a few more questions. And if they do end up going through and using our powered by Google property finder, they are also deemed, yet again, a hot lead. So there's two ways they can become a hot lead. Number one is answering questions through the AI bot. And the second way is going through and submitting that survey. Now, if they do all three, we don't have a hottest lead or a fire lead, but we should. But it's essentially the same thing. So pretty much it's a hot lead. There's two ways we can get that. And then furthermore, on the back end, we have the same thing where we send people to a calendar. So there's an automatic booking again on the back end of this here. And not only do we have a calendar, we also have a video sales letter. So this is very important. This is going to pretty much showcase your uniqueness, showcase your branding. It's no extra work for you. It's just, we have scripts and everything. It's just essentially showcasing your uniqueness in your value proposition, but also throwing some personality in there, not just reading off a script. So the reason we have that is people are now associating your face to provided value, to authority. The best way at scale to have people know, like, and trust you is through video components. Obviously, if you could be on the phone or in person all day, that would be awesome. But the reality is you can't. You're busy. Video is the third best option behind, in person and obviously phone call. So the reason we run this is now people are expecting your call. Well, in this video sales letter, we say, okay, hey, thank you for submitting the form. These are the next steps. These are the reasons why I need to call you. So instead of people saying, hey, why are you calling me? Who is this random guy? They're actually expecting your call, and you've provided value to them. You've given them, for example, this is how to sell your home fast for top dollar and stress-free. So all the things that you need to be doing, you need to have all these sort of things in place, but you're not. And secondly, like I said, at the end of the VSL, there's a place for automatic booking, which goes back to here. Cool. So that's kind of essentially the first 5 steps, which is, leads come in, they're put into pipelines, they're put into conversations with the AI bot, they're prompted for automatic bookings in our calendars, and they're put into sites. So that's going to be our second qualification and our VSL. Now, the 6th thing that's very important for Go High Level is we need to have appointment tracking. So this is something that I live by. What's watched, what's tracked is improved. If you don't know your numbers, you're not going to improve. If you don't have a goal set on paper, you're not going to improve. So we need to have our appointment tracking in place. We need to see how many leads are coming in, how many calls are you doing, how many people are actually being booked, what's going on. So if things aren't working, obviously we can tweak them. If we have no idea of the numbers, we're pretty much shooting bullets in a pitch black room. So that's why we use Go Highlevel, because it has really good appointment tracking and call tracking. So this is the workflow that I built out to make sure that a phone number is actually validated, and is coming into your system warm. So ultimately, right, this entire system, the goal is to get sales, the goal is to get deals, and we track this all, and you should be doing this as well on a KPI tracking sheet. So how many people came into impressions? How many clicks were there? How many leads were there? How many sets were there? How many closes? What's your ROI? This is obviously good. 18x is good. We look for around a 5 to 8x ROI. The biggest companies in the world, Alex Hormozi, acquisition.com, things like that, they're getting around a 5 to 8 return on investment, and that's a good metric to look for. Sometimes you get these kind of crazy hitters, 18x ROI, which is awesome with these types of systems, but don't go in expecting you're going to get this 18x. It's kind of a bonus, if you will, but look for that 5 to 8. It's still obviously a no-brainer if you're getting 6% ROI or 6x ROI, excuse me. You put in X amount of money, you get X back. You could just keep printing that. So this is essentially our Go Highlevel setup. And there's a lot of, moving components, right? We obviously need the AI bot. Just to recap, we need pipelines and automations built out from there to move them around. We have the AI follow-up to conversate with these people and book in a hot lead. When someone's actually answering the questions, they become a hot lead. You get a notification. And the third thing is calendars. This is where we keep all of our appointments. This is where we have our automatic booking. And then under the sites tab, which is in Go Highlevel, we are hosting our two main sort of beefy and meaty things that we have on Go Highlevel, which is our funnels, where we continue the qualification process, as well as a video sales letter funnel. So this is where you showcase your value proposition, you explain why you're going to call someone, you explain who you are, you thank them for filling out the form, things like that. It's the little things that go a long way. As you saw with the testing, it's like even changing the color, even changing the background can change an ad from you paying $20 to $10. Imagine how all these little things, all these little touch points, everything is feel. Everything in sales is feel. How did they feel through your process? Do you seem professional? Do you have all these things set up? And if you just have a form to a website, who are you? You're just a random guy. You're just giving information at this point. This is actually providing a plan. This is providing leads with a structured itinerary to go through and discover the next portion, discover your video, discover if they want to work with you or not. And that's when people really get excited, when they feel like they found a gem. And that's what the system does. It allows you to be professional, allows you to have people follow a direct path, not just sort of a hop, skip, and a jump, and you're at the finish line. There's actually a lot of steps that go into how do we take this lead, where we now have an ultimate lead from part 3, and we actually bring them into a place where they can be nurtured. Not, cool, I'm going to call them once, and I'm never going to do it again. The reality is leads need to be nurtured. You need to be nurturing leads. The easiest way is having systems and processes in place. The second easiest way is doing it manually. If you don't want to do it manually, it's a no-brainer to set up systems like these. So this is what you need to be running in your Go Highlevel. I'm now going to be kind of doing an overarching how this all works, and that's going to be in part 5. But if you want any information on this Go Highlevel, I'm happy to share, a few of the things I got. I'm not going to share my entire snapshot. That thing's worth a lot to me, but I would share, maybe the AI bot, maybe a few of the funnels we have. If you want to book a call with me, I have that in all of my bios. So looking forward to it. Thanks for watching all the way through if you're still here, and go check out part 5. Thanks, guys.